Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Nanda Sufardiansyah and I'm student of English Education Department 2019. So in this video, I want to explain about the final assignment in discourse analysis, and I will answer in several questions. So let me start it. So the first question is describe the position of discourse analysis in the theory of linguistics. So discourse analysis is an interdisciplinary study which has very close relationship with linguistics, sociology, anthropology, psychology, philosophy, communication, and education. On the other hand, discourse analysis makes effort to identify linguistic features that characterize particular use of language, social as well as cultural factor, which facilitate learners' interpretation and comprehension of different genres of text and talks. So the knowledge of linguistic features, social and cultural aspect of English will not only make the student good at making the correct sentence, but also at using the sentence appropriately in line with the context. The next question is what are the differences between discourse analysis and error analysis in terms of their linguistic background, theory and content analysis? So my answer is discourse analysis is a process to identify the function of terms in language besides the forms or the structure. And error analysis is a process to provide the information about the forms error that often made by the learners. Okay, the next question is, what do you know of the following? Discourse analysis: communicative competence, language form and function, exchange, move, and discourse pattern. So the first is discourse analysis. Slembrooke in 2003, discourse analysis refers to attempt to study the organization of language above the sentence or above the clause, and therefore to study larger linguistic units such as conversational, exchange, or written. And then in 2014, discourse analysis is sometimes defined as the analysis of language beyond the sentence. This contrasts with the types of analysis more typical of modern linguistics, which are chiefly concerned with the study of grammar, the study of smaller bits of language such as sounds, phonetic and phonology, part of words like morphology, meaning, semantic, and the order of word in sentence or syntax. So discourse analysis study larger chunks of language as they flow together. The next is communicative competence. Hence, it is said that communicative competence is developed within sociolinguistics as sub-discipline of linguistics. So the communicative competence is widely spread around the world as the most recommended global goal of language teaching. Next is language form and function. Language form, it refers to the pronunciation, vocabulary, as well as grammar. And the language function, that is to learn how to convey the purpose of using some typical expression according to their context. And exchange is a movement of conversation between at least two speakers that creates a typical topical or subtopical unit. Exchange can be expressed by giving a new information, and move is stretch of word that continues a unit. It serves a purpose in the dialect that is a part of or in other word. So move can be classified as a function in language terms. And the last is discourse pattern. So discourse pattern, which consists of three components, also found in interactional spoken discourse, such as intention, response, as well as follow-up. The next question is, what are the scope of discourse analysis in spoken discourse? So Richard in 2008, people use speaking to employ three major function. That is speaking as interaction, speaking as transaction, and speaking as a performance. The first is speaking as interaction. Speaking as interaction is commonly found in our social lives in terms of interpersonal dialogues or conversation. So this speaking display interactional functions, such as it primarily establish social interaction. It focuses to satisfying the participant social needs. It is interactive and requires two-way participation, and in it involves or two or more people meet somewhere, and then it functions to establish a comfortable atmosphere of interaction among participants, and then it contains more than one topic of talks. It uses many rejoinders such as really or oh no during the interaction. Next is speaking as transaction by Richard in 2008 claims that speaking as transaction refers to situation where the focus is on what is said or done. So the message, meaning which makes one understood clearly and accurately, is the central focus. In our social life, transactional speaking can be identified in terms of discussion, debates, job interview, and etc. And the last is speaking as performance. So speaking as performance is recognized as the third scope of spoken discourse, which refers to public speaking. So according to Richard in 2008, performance speaking is a type of spoken discourse that is aimed at transmitting information in front of an audience, commonly delivered in the form of monologue rather than dialogue, such as classroom presentation, public announcements, lecturer, as well as speeches. So the next question is, analyze the following extract of conversation to find out its discourse sequence, moves, function, and internal structure. So the conversation in M. Jane, I really want to apologize to you. W. What for? So next, I am really sorry about what I said to you the other night. And W. Oh, forget it. M. I can't. It was terrible thing to say. Please forgive me. W. Okay, enough is enough. I accept your apologies. So the discourse sequence, such as initiation, response, follow-up, and follow-up, response, and follow-up, and moves. They consist. Jane, I really want to apologize to you. Into the initiation, the response is what for, and then the response, I'm really sorry about what I said to you the other night. The follow-up, oh, forget it. And response, I can. It was terrible thing to say. Please forgive me. And follow-up, okay, enough is enough. And the function is, the initiation is giving apologize. The response, first response to knowing, second response is apologizing. The follow-up is confirming the apologize. The response is rejection, and the follow-up is end the conversation. And the internal structure is the stretch A B A B A B. So the next question is explain the following terms of written discourse. So the first is micro and macro analysis. So micro analysis focus on analyzing vocabulary and grammar, include cohesive relation and grammatical requirements in particular text. For instance, Halliday and Hassan in 1976 developed lexical collocation at the textual level, and the macro analysis investigates that organization of text such as patterns and type. For instance, Hoy in 2001 introduced three kinds of text pattern such as problem situation, general of specific, as well as claims, counterclaim, structure. The next is cohesion and coherence. So cohesion and coherence in written discourse. Written cohesion and coherence in a text are crucial. Cohesion refers to the way in which a text is tied together with linguistic device such as grammar and vocabulary to set up well-constructed relation of meaning within text. And in this regards, the text said to have coherence if it is constitute sentence are constructed in an ordinary fashion so that the reader can make sense of the entire text. Therefore, Todi Rasu in 2013 are of the opinion that more coherent a sequence of sentences, the better they are understood. The next is grammatical device or grammatical cohesion. Grammatical device can be understood as devices used to create coherence in text. The devices are called grammatical cohesion. Grammatical cohesion consists of four types, namely reference, substitution, ellipsis, conjunction. And the lexical cohesive device is or lexical cohesive is refers to vocabulary used to create coherence in text. So the vocabulary is then called carrying out the function of lexical cohesion. And so the lexical cohesion refers to the achieving coherence in text due to the selection of vocabulary. Next question is describe how to analyze text pattern in discourse analysis. So text pattern, as mentioned earlier that writing a readable text requires not only grammatical and lexical cohesion but also the text structure. So text structure refers to the way that the information within written text or organized. So recognizing text pattern is beneficial to both readers and writers. The next question is describe how to analyze sentence in patterns in discourse analysis. So as people use their knowledge of grammar and vocabulary working together to convey their ideas in text, this is called writing. The text contains sentences, and sentences can be split into same elements. So some provide predictable information and other provide unpredictable information. And them and rem are two terms that indicate the way in which message conveyed in a sentence. They provide the setting for reminder of the sentences that is rem. And rem is the reminder of the message in a clause which them is developed. The next question is what factor to consider in selecting target discourse to be analyzed to get required or relevant information on language use in content. So my answer is Kaharuddin in 2018 in this book Discourse Analysis for English Language Teaching state that there are two important conditions that might be taken in selecting a target discourse analysis, such as the suitability of the materials to the learner's needs and the authenticity of the selected materials. The first is the suitability of the materials to the learner's need. So learners need to show what the learners want to learn and achieve in the learning process. If the material is appropriate to the learner's need, it will be easily stimulate and grab their attention because it is felt suitable to their interests. So they will likely enjoy learning something that is felt fun and attracts their attention, that the learning objectives will be more easily achieved. And the second one is the authenticity of the selected materials. The characteristic of authentic material consists of they are real language produced for the negative speakers and designed without teaching purpose. According to Gebhardt in 1996, authentic materials can be categorized into three classifications, such as authentic listening viewing materials, such as TV commercials, quiz show, and cartoons, and then authentic visual materials such as slides, paintings, postcard picture, and the last is authentic printed materials such as comic books, greeting cards, and newspapers article. So the last question is, do you agree with saying that discourse analysis has significant contribution to English language pedagogy? Well, in my opinion, discourse analysis is likely a bridge that connect between the teachers and the communicative approach in developing the communicative competence of language learner. So those who have learned linguistic and language skill have to learn discourse analysis as an academic subject at the university. They are required to successfully deploy and connect their knowledge of discourse analysis and pedagogical component in the classroom. Namely, the first is curriculum, which refers to the contents being taught in the classroom. The second one is methodology, which refers to the way in which the content are taught, and the last is the technique for socializing language learner in the context where the language is used. So that's all of my answer in this question for the final assignment in discourse analysis. So thank you very much, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.